Eric Clapton and Jimmy Page are two of the most influential guitarists to come out of the British rock scene, and their shared history is one of admiration, rivalry, and complicated personal and professional moments. Over the years, many rumors have circulated about tension between them, particularly stemming from events in the 1960s. For a long time, neither Clapton nor Page spoke much about the details, leaving fans and critics to speculate. Recently, however, Clapton has opened up more directly about their past, confirming much of what had only been guessed for decades. Their story begins in the early 1960s, when both musicians were deeply involved in the London blues and rock scene. Eric Clapton was emerging as a leading guitarist, particularly noted for his work with the Yardbirds. Jimmy Page, though not as publicly known at the time, was building a solid reputation as a gifted session guitarist, playing on numerous recordings and earning the respect of his peers. It was an exciting time for music, and these two young guitarists were both immersed in the same circles, sometimes collaborating, sometimes competing, but always pushing the boundaries of what rock guitar could sound like. One key moment in their shared history was when Clapton decided to leave the Yardbirds in 1965. He was unhappy with the band's shift toward a more commercial sound, and he felt that their move away from pure blues was not in line with his musical vision. Before leaving, Clapton reportedly suggested that Page take his place. While it's true that Page declined the offer at first, he eventually joined the band, although only after Jeff Beck came in as Clapton's immediate replacement. This series of transitions is where the early seeds of tension may have been planted, not necessarily due to animosity, but because of how quickly the music scene was evolving and how closely their paths were intertwined. Things took a more serious turn shortly afterward, when Clapton and Page recorded some tracks together while staying at Page's home. These sessions were informal, and Clapton believed them to be nothing more than private jam recordings between friends. However, those tracks were later released by a record label without Clapton's knowledge or consent. Though Page himself didn't orchestrate the release and may not have had any control over it, Clapton felt betrayed. He saw it as a violation of trust, and it created a distance between them that would last for years. For a long time, both musicians were quiet about the specifics of what happened, leading fans to fill in the blanks. Some assumed the rift was purely professional, while others believed it stemmed from personal differences or competition. The truth, as Clapton later admitted, was rooted in a simple but powerful breach of trust. He had felt used, even if unintentionally, and it left a mark on their friendship. Despite that falling out, both Clapton and Page have consistently spoken highly of each other's talents. Clapton has often referred to Page as one of the most technically skilled and creative guitarists of his generation, while Page has praised Clapton for his expressive playing and deep connection to the blues. Their mutual respect remained, even as they kept their distance. In the 1980s, fans were surprised to see them performing together again, notably at charity events like the ARMS concert. These public reunions suggested that any lingering bitterness had softened over time. Clapton later confirmed that while he never forgot what had happened in the 60s, he understood that the music business was complicated, and that not all wrongs were intentional. He also acknowledged that Page, like him, was often at the mercy of record labels and management decisions during that time. In more recent years, Clapton has been more open about the past, confirming that the rumors of tension were based in truth but not rooted in malice. He described the whole situation as a lesson in the unpredictable nature of both friendship and the music industry. What hurt him most was not the release of the recordings themselves, but the sense that someone he trusted hadn't protected that trust. He admitted, however, that time had given him perspective, and that he no longer held any resentment. Jimmy Page, for his part, has also spoken with warmth about Clapton in interviews, saying that he always admired Clapton's emotional playing style and his contributions to British blues. He acknowledged that they had gone through a rough patch but emphasized that their shared history was ultimately something to be proud of. Both men understood the pressures they faced as young musicians, and over time, they were able to move past the misunderstandings of their youth. Today, their relationship serves as a reminder that even legends can fall out and find their way back to mutual respect. Clapton's recent confirmation of the past doesn't tarnish their legacy, it adds depth to it. It shows that beneath the fame, guitar solos, and spotlight, there were two artists navigating fame, ambition, and the challenges of trust in a demanding industry. Their story continues to fascinate fans not only because of the music they made but because of the human story behind it, a story of talent, ego, missteps, and ultimately, reconciliation.